guys, welcome to Master Chef. This week we are going to be exploring power bowls, and today we're really focusing on Buddha bowls. So Buddha bowls are adding lots of vegetables together, really having your components of your carbs, your healthy fats, and then also protein. And because they are Buddha bowls, they are vegetarian. So if you are looking to add a little more protein or an animal source, you most definitely can add a lean beef or chicken option. So to get started, I've already taken our chickpeas, 1 can of chickpeas here. I've drained them, dried them, and washed them off, rinsed them. So make sure that you get all of your peels off of your chickpeas as well. And then make sure they are dry so that there's less moisture for when you put your chickpeas into the oven to bake. So speaking of which, I've already set my oven to 400 degrees, so that has preheated. Also, later in our recipe, it calls for quinoa, so I am cooking that as well right now. I like to cook mine on the stove top, so there is a microwave direction if you're looking for some faster preparation, maybe in the middle of your week. So we've got our chickpeas here. We're gonna add a teaspoon of olive oil to the mixture. All right, spreading that around there. And then we're also adding 1/4 of basil. So this is dried basil, not fresh basil here. Alexa, stop timer. That means that my quinoa is done, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Alexa is a great kitchen helper. I have learned. She's so helpful that she likes to talk. Stop, Alexa. Okay, next is garlic. So this is garlic powder. It's also 1/4 of a teaspoon. And just sprinkle that around. All right. And then salt and pepper, pretty much to taste. So I like to do freshly ground. That helps with the freshness. Again, to taste, so you can stir this all up. If you're more of a pepper kind of person, like I am, you can add a little more. Just really watch how much you add on the salt side. So be mindful of that. Of course, you want it to taste really nice and not bland, but watch that. All right, so we're gonna mix that all up, making sure, I like to use my hands. So making sure it's coated all around our chickpeas here, because this is gonna be that nice crunch that we get, kind of like a crouton. All right, adding in here. And then we're gonna spread it all along, and we're going in the oven, 400 degrees for 30 minutes, making sure that we turn the pan, kind of mix it up midway through. So here we go. So while our chickpeas are cooking in the oven still, we are gonna go ahead and work on prepping our salad. So an easy way to go ahead and have a faster prep is to, when you bring your veggies home from the store, go ahead and have them cut. All together, that will help you eat them more. It'll save time with your prep, but will also help with later consuming the vegetables as snacks and things of that sort, so that they don't go to waste. Speaking of food waste, I use a lovely partner that we have, Compost Now. It's someone who I have used for multiple years. They are amazing. They do the composting for you. So that way I am eliminating food waste as well. So that is, we are gonna half this pepper here, cut it up, dice it up, and then we are also going to be dicing up our cucumbers. Our cucumbers, I only found the minis. Something that you find sometimes at the grocery store these days is that there may not be exactly what you're needing. So don't feel bad about switching it up, or if there's a certain vegetable that you like to add, make sure you do that. Another great one is artichokes. I love those. Those are great. Just try to get them in water instead of olive oil or oil. All right, so I'm gonna rinse these guys off because we got seeds all over. And then we're gonna create our base. All right, so we'll dice those up here in a second. We're gonna go ahead and grab my mixed greens that I have. There's a cup in each one. Make sure you're pretty plentiful with your servings of greens here. So that's gonna go on my base. All right. And because it's just me here, I'm gonna go ahead and make my second serving a meal prep serving. So what I'm gonna do, stuff those in. I'm gonna add it to my glassware here. I love glassware because it's reusable, as well as when you're heating up dishes, you don't have to worry about the plastics or any other harmful things that may be involved there. So 1 cup in each. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and dice up these cucumbers. We're adding those to the side. One of the best things that I love about Power Bowls and Buddha Bowls is that the presentation is always nice with the plethora of goodies that you have. This also really ensures that you are getting your fiber for the day. So that is very important as well. A lot of times it's hard for us to get veggies into our meals. So this one is very much based around veggies. In a tasty, colorful, and creative way. All right. And there we go. And then we will go ahead and do the meal prep bowl as well. All right. And I love to have my veggies while I make my bowls. Next up is your tomatoes. So I'm gonna go ahead and half these. We've got a half a cup of tomatoes. They call for grape tomatoes, but I love these lovely discolored, or we think is discolored, tomatoes that are your bite-sized ones. Again, you're gonna get different biodiversity in your vegetables when you go for ones that have different colors. Looking for like a rainbow in your plate with your vegetables as well. Beautiful. Going to go do my meal prep bowl as well. And we're going to get to some other goodies. My dad has always grown tomato tomatoes, so I've always been a big tomato fan, especially the little guys. All right, so we've added those to our plate. All right, moving on, let's finish these up here. And we're kind of going around the bowl because in the middle, we're gonna pull out that hummus right in the middle. And something that is not included in this bowl, besides the meat, obviously, like I said, you can add that meat to it if you like. Grilled chicken, kebabs of some sort, salmon kebabs, shrimp even would be delicious. This is also a great one for spring, summer coming up, or just any time. But something that is not also included is a dressing. So, you kind of use your hummus as your dressing. You've got your crunch of your chickpeas, which hummus is made of chickpeas as well. So there's your double portion of protein. So what you can do is you can recreate that dressing. This is not included in the recipe. You can recreate that dressing that you had at the beginning that you mixed with your chickpeas. Do the same exact serving sizes and what it calls for. Mix it up, add it to a little bowl, and then you can drizzle that basil, garlic powder, olive oil, mix it up and drizzle it on the whole salad if you need a little bit more moisture on your salad if you find that the hummus is not enough. that's something that you can do. All right, olives. This is your Kalamata. I used to not be an olive fan. I thought they were disgusting and icky. And then I worked in the service industry and started to kind of like your green olives that you would serve in martinis. So I would steal those from the bartender station at my restaurant that I was at and started to like green olives. But I was always like, I do not like the black olives. And so somehow I have learned, or my tastes have adjusted to liking these things. But this gives you a little more diversity, of course, in your plate here. Different colors, a little bit of salt, a little bit of goodness. All right, got that. All right, so we've got the veggies prepped and ready. We'll wait on the hummus. We'll wait on the chickpeas. And then also we've got our quinoa that we're gonna add as well. All right, we're gonna finish up this recipe now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 1/4 cup of hummus. We're gonna plop it right in the middle there. Delicious. And then we're going to use 1/2 cup of quinoa, just placing this in also. If you believe that that's too much, you can also just make that a little less. Quinoa is great because it is a protein and a carb, and it's a complete protein, so that's always good. Has great essential amino acids in there. And then lastly would be our chickpeas, and you can do a 1/4 of a cup there. And these are kind of like croutons, so if you want to sprinkle them throughout, I'm just taking them from my baking sheet. They're all done here and nice and cool. And so you can just place that in one area of the bowl as well, or you can kind of scatter it throughout like your croutons if you want. Delicious. Again, if you want to add a little drizzle of extra olive oil or red wine vinegar, you can do that as well, or use that mixture that you coated your chickpeas with. And there is your power bowl, or your Buddha bowl, and I just spilled some on the floor, that's okay. For the one that you're prepping, I would leave out, you can add the quinoa, add the chickpeas, I'd leave out the hummus and add that lastly. So that's pretty much it. We are gonna leave the ingredients, the recipe, everything below in the box in the caption area. If you have any questions about the recipe or any of the ingredients used today, you can also email me at amy.bush@coxinc.com. Thanks guys for attending.